There he is, the warrior making his way to the arena floor. For Lucian Bute, it is time to prove that all the sizzle has substance. And for the other man, it's a chance to get back to the very top. Sakio Bika focused on that. It is our main event. Lucian Bute ready for the biggest test of his career. Sakio Bika confident another title shot will be his. Top 10 super middleweights and a title eliminator from Montreal. American fight fans have watched Lucian Bute's name rise up the rankings, but have yet to get a good look at him. Well, one look at the 6'2", well-skilled super middleweight, and you will see that he's more than capable of competing against the very best. He came out in 2005 with impressive wins, part of a 6-0 year, all 6 by knockout. Last year, it was more of the same. His first 15 fights, 15 knockouts. He's become a super draw in Montreal.
I've been here for 4 years. I feel this is my home. This is what I turned pro. These are my best fans, and I'm not gonna let them down. I'm very proud to be a #1 draw in Montreal, and I promise that I'm gonna become a world champion, and I'm gonna keep the belt here in Montreal.
Sakio Bika stepped on the scale yesterday, a firm 167.5, and also firm in his thinking that he's the far more experienced fighter. That experience included 2 world title fights in 06. The first was a fight many think Bika was on his way to winning. In Germany against titleist Marcus Bayer, a clash of heads would end up determining it. Bayer couldn't continue due to a cut, so Bika had to swallow a technical draw. He then faced the best in the super middleweight biz, Joe Calzaghe. Bika was not 100% healthy coming into the fight, but yet managed to hang around with Joe. Even took some of the later rounds. Still, Calzaghe took unanimous decision. These are lessons learned that Bika feels Bute just hasn't had. So now the time has come. Will the unbeaten stay perfect towards a title shot? Or will the veteran get back to avenge his past year? Some prime real estate in the ring rankings will be sold. It's 2 men willing to put their top 10 spots on the line against each other. Just a pure, outrageous ring introduction here at the Molson Center. The streets may have no name, but the fighter does, and they're calling it loud here in Montreal. Bute, 19-0, and on the precipice, many feel here, of greatness. These fans are looking to see the skill of Bute try to overcome the athleticism of Bika. Here's what else Teddy Atlas says they should look for in his fight plan.
For Bute tonight, look for him to box on the outside. He's got an opponent in Bika who's strong, wants to get inside, and a little slow. For Bute, who I'm going to play, he's going to keep his right hand down. You see he's a southpaw. He's going to keep range. He's going to use that southpaw jab. Bang! He's going to throw left hands whenever he gets Bika reaching. Look for Bute to outbox Bika all night long. How's Bika going to win tonight? Well, we already talked about he's physically strong, but we also talked about he's slow and he's crude. Well, first of all, if he stays on the outside, he loses, because Bute is too much of a boxer, too much reach, too much range. He's going to want to get close, but he's also going to want to throw right hands against the southpaw. Bad idea tonight. That's going to happen. He's going to get counted. Look at the right hand of Bute being low. I think that Bika's best shot is to move to this side, throw the left hook, then the right hand. He doesn't have to worry about anything over here. If he does that, he can kick some Bute.
My, oh my. Have they taken to this 27-year-old Romanian native who has become such an attraction here in Montreal. An IBF title shot on the line for Ring Magazine's #6 against Ring Magazine's #10. For the official introductions, we send it up to the ring to Pierre Bernier.
Interbox et ses partenaires, Interbox and its partners, Vidéotron, la Cage au Sport, Coors Light, le groupe TID et ses partenaires, le 96.9, C'est quoi? CKAC Sport et le Journal de Montréal sont fiers de vous présenter le combat principal de la soirée. Combat éliminatoire de l'IBF chez les super moyens. This is it. This is what you have been waiting for. This is the main event of the evening. And they're going to go toe-to-toe. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Super Middleweight Title Eliminator. Les juges pour ce combat. The judges for this bout. De Philadelphie, from Philadelphia, George Hill. Du New Hampshire, William James. Et du Canada, Richard de Carufel. L'arbitre pour ce combat, the referee for this bout, Marlon B. Wright. Ce combat vous est présenté sous la supervision de l'IBF, représenté ce soir par la superviseure de Détroit, Madame Yawata Knight. This bout is sanctioned by the IBF, represented this evening by its supervisor from Detroit, Michigan, Mrs. Yawata Wright. Dans le coin bleu, in the blue corner, the challenger, portant la culotte blanche et rouge, wearing white and red trunks, pesant 167,6 livres, avec une fiche de 21 victoires, dont 14 par KO, 2 défaites et 2 nuls. He shows a professional record of 21 wins, 14 by way of knockout, 2 defeats and 2 draws. Il est classé 10e par l'IBF, ranked number 10th by the IBF. De Sydney en Australie, Sakio, the Scorpion Bika. Son adversaire dans le coin rouge, his opponent in the red corner. Il porte la culotte noire ornée de blanc, wearing black, trimmed with white. Il enregistre un poids de 167,4 livres. He weighed in at 167.4 pounds. Sa fiche, parfaite. 19 victoires, dont 16 par KO. Il est classé 3e par l'IBF. He is ranked 3rd by the IBF. He is undefeated. De Montréal, Lucian Bute.
Marlon B. Wright, the third man inside, 12 rounds.
My instructions, I want you to protect yourself at all time. You obey my command at all time. Touch glove, let's go.
The ring experience is sponsored by Just for Men. Bika has had 7 more fights, 35 more rounds. But key to all that experience is that Bika has been to the top. Fought Joe Calzaghe. Previous to that, he fought Marcus Beyer, a fight that many thought he was on his way to winning for the WBC title in this division before it went to a technical draw stopped by a cut from a clash of heads.
Bute is a southpaw in the white gloves, who right now is keeping that lead hand, the most important hand for a southpaw, the jabbing hand, keeping it high right now. Doesn't always do that, as you can see right now already, getting that right hand down low below his waist. Now it's back up.
Wide swinging punches from Bika.
You're going to see a lot of that, Joe. You're going to see style, you're going to see technique, and you're going to see speed of hand on the outside for the local Bute. For Bika, you're going to want to see a guy that's going to try to get close, take away that range. He can't win on the outside, but you're going to see crudeness. You're going to see a lot of determination and a lot of grit. But you're also going to see what you got a little bit of a taste of a moment ago. Wide punches.
Spent some time with Bute yesterday. I said, what is your big advantage? He said, I have 2, my reach and my speed, and I will control this fight from the outside.
Well, he better make sure he's all the way out, or like that, all the way in. That's how you deal.
Oh, do we have a clash of heads here? He took a swipe with that left hand to check for blood, but it doesn't appear there is any above the left brow, but you can see him affected. He's winking his Lucian Bute.
Well, let me tell you, the wide shots of Bika are not nearly as dangerous as his head. He comes in with that skull. 2 technical draws from head clashes in his career. Dangerous man with his head.
He is awkward, he is wild, he is tough, he is aggressive, and then you throw in the mix of a southpaw or wild orthodox fighter against a southpaw, and that can add up many times to head clashes.
Well, the southpaw, the undefeated Bute, is going to want to do that. Again, you can be inside. I know it might not sound that way or feel that way to a layman. They'll say, why would you want to be in close to someone as physical and as strong as Bika? But when he throws wide shots, if you get inside, there will be no room for those wide shots to connect, and you can connect first. Or you can be all the way outside like Bute's trying to do now and make the wide punching Bika reach for air, and then you can counter him.
Coming to the end of this first round, Lucian Bute, Sakio Bika on Friday Night Fights. Fight night in Montreal. Friday Night Fights has come north of the border for this title eliminator. Alongside Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. So glad you can join us. Lucian Bute and Sakio Bika. Bute, the undefeated southpaw in the black trunks in that first round. He had a 10-5 connect advantage against the Cameroon native who fights and trains out of Australia. Made the long travel here, Teddy, 2 weeks ago, and actually got some sparring here in Montreal. That is a long way to come for a big, big fight. But the 2 weeks, you think, a benefit to him, right?
Yeah, you want to be able to acclimate to the travel, the time difference, and obviously get your feet on the ground as far as being in a new environment. In a couple of days, you don't get a chance to get over that travel, over that jet lag. 2 weeks, a good amount of time to settle in. And not only that, but Bika has had some practice to get ready for a southpaw. 2 of his last 4 fights, they've been against southpaw. 1 loss and 1 technical draw. Again, for Bute, you see what it's all about. He's more versatile, more dimensional. He can use that ring, fight on the outside, get off first, get angles. He can even step inside some of those wide shots and take a look once in a while. For Bika, it's what you see is what you're going to get. 1 dimension, 1 gear, right in front. And when he comes fat. He comes wide.
There's an example of him being countered after he threw and kind of fell forward with that right hand.
Well, he'll do a lot of that.
Bute was able to respond.
Again, for Bute, the formula, simple but strict. Either be all the way on the outside where you make Bika fall forward and leave himself like that, wide open to counters, or get all the way in. Where you can't be is just in no man's land. Right out in front like that.
He was right there, and Bika took advantage with the right hand. Now a free swinging left hand from Bute. That misses. Back to the jab. Doubles up that jab just to force his opponent back and missed with the straight left hand.
Usually when you're fighting an orthodox fighter, you're the southpaw, as the undefeated man in white gloves is, you want to move to your right. Take advantage of being a southpaw. Move away from the power hand, the backhand, the right hand of Bika. Right now, I think Bute is moving the wrong way. Even though he's having some success, he's moving into the power of Bika.
Good exchange on the inside moments ago. Bute was able to land the left hand. Bika threw a right hand upstairs. Good energy, good tactical fight as we come to the end of round number 2 on Friday Night Fight main event. Lucian Bute said of Sakio Bika that he uses his elbows and head a lot, not intentionally, it's just his awkward style. Already a couple moments in this fight where each fighter has gone up and wiped their brow after they came to the inside, seeing if there was blood after a clash of heads. Round number 3 of our main event, title eliminator, so it's scheduled for 12. Back to the jab for Bika.
Not a lot of choices for Bika. In front, and at some point, he's going to want to move more in front, come forward, and bring power. The choices belong to Bute. You can see it right here. He can move to the sides. He can pick spots.
Punch track numbers, the headshots in round number 2, where Bika had a 16-4 connect advantage. He was 18-13 connect advantage overall in that second round. Crowd rallying support behind that effort.
You know orthodox fighters, which Bika is one, love to throw right hands against lefties. Look for that right hand. You're starting to see it warm up.
Too wide with it, though, as you
That was
said.
a little fat. That was a baseball.
Bute quick to release that trigger on the left hand to the body as Bika came swinging with that wide right hand. Now on the inside, that right hand was blocked by Bute.
Again, if Bika's looking for the right hand, it only means something if he has a target. That means cooperation from Bute. To me, that means Bute moving the wrong way, to his left, into that right hand, instead of to his right. We talk about the fight plan for Bika. Instead of going with the conventional thought of right hands against the southpaw, to try that left hook when the right hand is down of Bute. Bika has had a little success this round trying that left hook. Watch again when that right hand of Bute is low. That tells me, and that should tell Bika, he cannot use that hand. Right now it's up in punching distance, so you have to respect it. But when it's down around the hip, which it will be momentarily, that's his spot. Like right now, the right hand's starting to drop a little on Bute. When it starts to drop, I would think that that is the key for Bika to move in with the left hook.
Hey, goodbye. Hey.
Bute comes forward, misses with the straight left hand before Marlon B. Wright separates them. Misses again with the straight left as Bika was able to get underneath it. Such a big showcase night for Lucian Bute. Stéphane LaRouche has all the confidence in the world in his charge. Meanwhile, Mark Pitts in the corner of Sakio Bika says, hey, we're confident with what we did in those 2 title fights last year. We think we have all the advantage here against Bute. What are they fighting for? A chance for the IBF title to fight Alejandro Barrio. If that name sounds familiar, you probably recall him. He ended up on SportsCenter, one of the plays of the day, last year on Friday Night Fights when Barrio fought Youssef Mack. And look at this, a classic highlight. He kissed him on the forehead before knocking him out. Alejandro Barrio, an all-action power puncher, has the IBF crown, and that is what Bute and Bika are going after, a chance to fight Barrio. 3 rounds in the books. Round number 4. Bute in the black trunks, Bika in the white trunks. In that last round, both men landed 12 punches. Bika was more active. He was 12 of 64. Bute was 12 of 37.
You know, I like Bika. I can't talk for the local judges here in a sold-out stadium in front of all the home crowd and backers of the local Bute. I can't speak for how their cards are going to look. But what I can say is that I like Bika in that last round, and the reason I liked him, you need distance if you're going to be successful against Bika. And if you're Bute, how do you get that distance? By using that jab you just saw then. The last 2 rounds, that jab has been missing from Bute.
The manager of Sakio Bika is Angelo Hyder, who has come here and brought fighters from Australia before and pulled upsets in Canada. He was very much concerned with the assignments of the judges, obviously, and referee for this fight, and fairly pleased that there are 2 American judges and 1 Montreal judge for this 12-round main event. We'll see if that holds to his form there, or if this massive crowd will continue to rally support with each and every blow that Bute lands and could affect the judges. Early on here, though, round number 4. It's been a good competitive bout so far.
Again, if you're a backer of the outsider, the man coming into town, Bika, you have to be happy with the way that he's been able to close the gap. Get close without a lot of resistance from Bute. Because you had to know coming in, as we reflected on early, Bika's not losing or not winning if he stays on the outside. That's where he wants to be, where he can use that strength and that brute force. Distance bad for Bika. Closeness good for Bika.
Gets back to the inside, almost a clash of heads again. A short right hand that time on the inside. Bute goes with a lead left to the body, back to the jab, follow-up right hand misses from Bika. They both opened up that time. Little hesitation from Bute.
Another headbutt.
Another one. Easily the 3rd or 4th time tonight that they've wiped at their brows after coming in together. Now Bute goes to the inside with Bika against the ropes and digs into the body with a left hand.
That headbutt, usually delivered by Bika, affected Bika late in this round.
End of 4, Bute and Bika. Teddy's all-time greatest southpaws. We have one in front of us. This list is spectacular.
But now, I'm sorry I don't have your number 1, but not a bad spot at number 2 behind the marvelous one, Marvin Hagler, Freddie Miller, Luke Tendler, maybe the greatest southpaw never to win a title. Young Corbett, Tiger Flowers, Michael Mora, and Hector Camacho Jr.
Michael Morris, first Southpaw heavyweight champion, trained by one Teddy Atlas. Round number 5 between Bute and Bika. Pernell Whitaker, number 2 on that list. Our in-studio guest tonight with Brian Kenny. The irony of that list, Marvin Hagler's stellar moment against Sugar Ray Leonard, where he opens up the fight as a righty. Average punches thrown. Through round number 4, Bika working more, 60-38. In terms of connects, Bute a 53-43 advantage.
I don't know much, but I can be almost sure that I know 2 things right now. One is that Bika's people have to be happy, as I said earlier, how he's been able to close the gap with the taller, quicker Bute. And the other thing I think that I know is that my scorecard will not reflect what the scorecards at ringside will have.
Right now, Bika up on Teddy's scorecard.
Look, he might get his way. Joe, he might get his way anyway by just fighting.
Oh, good uppercut by Bika. Right hand landed flush.
I think that Bute is fighting in too close. It might turn out right for him, but right now, where he's choosing to fight is in close, and that serves Bika. I can't believe that Bute's people would be happy with his approach right now. His attitude of being a fighter and being confident he can get it done. But as far as his choice of tactic, I'm sure that the people with Bute would rather see him use his assets of speed and long arms on the outside.
That's what Bika does sometimes, just makes a fight out of it, as he did there. Now a good body punch by Bute. Digs underneath one time, but Bika was throwing punch with punch.
You know, Bika ain't pretty, but he can be effective. His awkwardness actually works for him. He gives you shoulders, he gives you wide punches, you think you miss one, and then all of a sudden there's another one coming.
wide that time, and Bute was able to land a left hand.
Again, you don't have to be Angelo Dundee or the late great Ray Arcel to see that if you were back on Bute, you'd want to see him on the outside more. And one way to stay on the outside is to use the jab. I don't think there's been enough jabs from Bute.
Wide sweeping right hand. Both men land right hands.
Action from the last round. We've been talking about it all night. Bika gets close, that's good. And that was a good right uppercut in close by Bika.
Moments ago, trainer Mark Pitts imploring Sakio Bika to take advantage of the opportunity that is right in front of him here as we are in round number 6. He said, if you're going to be a champion, Bute doesn't control you.
Again, Joe, if I'm in the corner of Bute, I cannot see enough jabs to satisfy me tonight. Jabs mean distance, and distance means Bute is fighting in the right place.
Let's bring in a guy who knew all about fighting in the right place. Hall of Famer Pernell Whitaker, our studio guest analyst tonight. Pernell, what do you see right now between Bute and Bika as to which guy has a distinct advantage?
I see the same thing Teddy sees. I see two awkward fighters and two foreign. That's the way the foreign fighters fight. You know, they're very awkward fighters. But Teddy hit it on the head. You got one man, you know, the Buka who's not jabbing. He's left-handed, and they're just swinging at each other. And, you know, and both of them are awkward, and you know, and those styles right there, you know. Like I said, I'm an American fighter, so, you know, that's a different style, and it's hard to break those foreign fighters from fighting that kind of style.
Thanks, Pernell, doing a great job tonight with Brian Kenny, and congratulations on your induction to the Boxing Hall of Fame. Pernell Whitaker with us all night with Brian Kenny.
For your number 2.
Well, just like Pernell was just touching on, you saw a little distance a moment ago. You saw some jabs from Bute.
Bring him back in.
All of a sudden, you saw connection of left hands behind those jabs.
All right,
all of a sudden, you saw some offense, some success from Bute. Again, when Bute's on the outside, where I think he belongs at least, and at least they have good company, Pernell thinks he belongs there, you get a chance for two things, Joe. You get a chance for Bute to get off first, use that jab while there's distance, get to Bika where Bika cannot get to him, and you also get a chance for that on the outside, for Bika to reach in and help him a little bit, create a little bit of offensive opportunities for Bute.
Right lead. Left uppercut missed. Had the opportunity against that right hand of Bika. They have hit a fork in the road in their careers. One man trying to move forward in the right direction. We reached the halfway point of our 12th round main event, end of 6. Ring Magazine number 6 against number 10. A battle of top super middleweights in a title eliminator. Lucian Bute, the undefeated fighter who has been packing them in. He has become a big ticket seller. 19-0 with 16 knockouts in the black trunks against Sakio Bika in the white trunks. A two-time super middleweight world title challenger. Both men trying to advance themselves to a title shot here tonight. Round number 7. Teddy Atlas's scorecard at the halfway point. 57-57. Bute taking the last 2 rounds.
You know, if you're a southpaw, as Bute is, and you depend, as Bute does, on that lead hand, that right jab, you start using it, as Bute has the last couple rounds, it's just a matter of time before that left hand behind it is going to start to find a home. The last round, that left hand of Bute started finding a home. You know what I like about Bute? Besides his style and he's got physical assets, for the most part, he understands his identity. He needs to be on the outside, even though he got a little carried away with coming close early on here, maybe trying to please the crowd, fighting Bika, fight a little bit. But what I like about him is that unlike a lot of undefeated prospects, Joe, at this point, he's not been fed all popcorn. He's had some impressive wins already against solid opposition. That impresses me. That makes me interested in following his career, because he's already shown that there's substance, not just sizzle, to this guy. Not just a built-up record.
And tonight is the night that so many American fight fans are tuning in to see what all the hype has been about. And these next few rounds will determine what a lot of folks think of him for the near future, especially as he heads towards getting a crack at the top. Crowd getting excited as he lands now the straight left hand behind the right hand.
Again, good fortunes the last several rounds for Bute. It's no mistake, no coincidence that it's happened since he's been doing this. Throwing punches on the outside.
By far his best round of the night. Bika still throwing wide. Bute on the mark with accuracy from that left hand. And doing it at range, as Teddy has pointed out, would be the difference. Bute with momentum.
Action from the last round. Good action from the undefeated Bute. Getting what he wants on the outside where he can get off first. And also when he's on the outside, he can get Bika to do that. Reach a little bit and then, of course, have opportunities to make him pay and come back with counters. Right now, the gears are all in motion for Bute.
Well-skilled southpaw with fast hands and accurate punching, and you see it show up in our punch track numbers in that 7th round. 25 out of 54 for Lucian Bute. Undefeated, 19-0, and here in a title eliminator in front of the home fans.
And simply put, when Bika is too far away, he can only catch. He cannot land.
Teddy Atlas's scorecard. Bute taking control in these middle rounds, and he goes up in front 67-66. North of the border here in front of all these home fans, and Bika has traveled a long way. Judging could be a big factor, but the Bika camp satisfied with the 2 Americans and the 1 judge from Montreal.
We're talking about
straight left hand from Bute.
This is the first fight for Bika outside of either Australia, England, Germany, Japan, or Indonesia. And he's not being treated very well.
First fight in North America. He got in some good sparring with Mikkel Kessler, super middleweight champion. In fact, he made the comment. He fought Calzaghe. He said Kessler's a monster compared to Calzaghe. Well, he's finding out exactly what Lucian Bute is all about here tonight firsthand.
But again, for all the physical attributes of Bika, strong, very game, very gritty, and very unorthodox, he is one-dimensional. And right now, Bute taking advantage of that knowledge, staying on the outside, staying out of that dimension that serves Bika well.
There's that right hand dipping below the waist. Teddy, you noticed that very early on. Wasn't costly there, but you can see how it opens up that big target.
Well, again, you can see Bika wants to land that right hand. Trainers, fighters love that against southpaws. But the only way Bika can land that is if Bute comes close. If he stays out of range, there's another headbutt. It's going to be very difficult for Bika to zero in on that right hand. He might have to switch over to the left hook when he sees that right hand of Bute, as it is right now, down low. And there's the left hook.
We've been very lucky that we have not seen a cut with all these head clashes so far.
This fight starting to get to the point where it could get away a little bit from Bika. If I'm in the corner, I might tell him, let's go left hook hunting. There it is.
There was that left hook. Bute put a left hand to the body in between punches, and now Bika is head hunting. End of 8. A lot of talk about super middleweight title shots. Peter Manfredo Jr. from Contender fame coming off a super middleweight title fight. He's on Wednesday Night Fights next week against David Banks, and then Friday Night Fights. We will be in Miami, and we will see Julio Garcia and Troy Browning. That's next week on Friday Night Fights. Round 9. Bika, as Teddy said, could be getting to that time of desperation where the fight has just gone south against him. Has it reached that point? Committing to the jab early on here. Bika, the two-time world title challenger in the white trunks with the red trim. Bute 19-0. Fast rising contender, already number 6 in the world according to Ring Magazine among the 168 pounders. Tried to counter with a left hand.
I know a lot of the fight fans at home who I think are the smartest sports fans there are. Maybe I'm a little prejudiced, but a lot of them are going to be saying, hey, how come Bika hasn't gone to the body of Bute? You got a man who's using his legs a little bit, using those wheels a little bit, fighting on the outside. Why not, as we say, take some air out of those tires going downstairs? I agree with that. Probably a little late in the game to make that adjustment, because you want to do that early. You want to put money in the bank and get dividends late in the fight. But, Joe, not easy to go to the body with a guy like Bute, who doesn't give you the body, who moves out like that.
Understands range and distance. Got pushed back that time with a left hand, a sweeping right hand from Bika. Now Bika trying to go after it and just hunt down Bute. A clubbing left hand.
Well, guess what? I think Bika is going left hook hunting. When he sees that right hand, that's the key for him. That's kind of like a bull seeing the red cape of the matador. He's coming. As soon as Bika sees that right hand of Bute down, he's coming with left hooks.
Good for our fans. Something to watch for, and an exciting something to watch for. Final minute here of this 9th round. Straight left hand just off the mark from Bute.
Again, you can see when there's distance, when there's range, there's success for Bute. Gets that jab working. He's able to connect off that jab with a left hand. And then when he steps out, he's able to get a little help from Bika reaching in and get opportunities for counters.
Bute looks like he has things going his way. As we come to the end of this 9th round, we're going to check in with Brian Kenny.
And Tarver get wins.
Good stuff, BK. Round number 10. 9 minutes to go here in this IBF title eliminator. Lucian Bute, by the way, 3 of his last 4 fights have gone the full 12-round distance, and he has won 103 of the possible 108 judged rounds of those 12-round distance fights. That right hand awful low. Teddy's been pointing it out. Could be susceptible to a left hook. Teddy Atlas's scorecard, 87-84. Bute, since round number 5 onward, has had it his way.
Another headbutt. And again, Bika seems to have gotten the worst of it. And once he reacted poorly to that headbutt, Bute behaves like a fighter, an ambitious fighter, takes advantage of that moment.
That reveals a little something as to where Bika is at this point in the fight, because he was not that effective earlier on when there were clashes. But now you see him trying to shake it off and complain. And what does Bute do? A 4-punch combination.
Bute does what an athlete, in this case a fighter, should do. He behaves opportunistically. Right now you can see Bute, you almost see the wheels turning inside that head, trying to set a trap, looking for a counter. Giving a little ground, Bika comes in 4 inches, Bute's going back about 8. That time he sets up the left hand with the jab, but you can see Bute just giving a little ground, hoping to get Bika to bite a little bit. Leave something like that in the air where he can counter. Basically, Joe, Bute right now trying to give Bika a little rope to hang himself. Because he steps out here, reach in, and give him an opportunity to score with a nice, clean counter where there's a hole.
Hole that time was filled with a short right hand. Bika comes forward. Heads almost met again. Swinging wildly with that left hand. Bute easily gets away from it, and now Marlon B. Wright is going to take things into control and deduct a point from Sakio Bika. Let's take a look back. Purposeful headbutt there.
And obviously that shows you frustration and a little bit of unraveling on the part of Bika.
Things coming undone here in Montreal for the Australian-based Sakio Bika. Championship rounds ahead. They've been partying all night here in Montreal. Give them 6 more minutes of what they've been seeing, and they'll be going all night long, Teddy.
Well, Bute not moving quite as good as what we saw a moment ago, but doing a pretty good job of controlling range and getting that left hand in there off of the right hand of the southpaw. You know, you set up that table with the right hand, and then you go eat with the left. Last few rounds, Bute has been getting a full stomach.
27-year-old Lucian Bute. Round number 11, scheduled for 12. By the way, a very different later stages of the fight than what Bika saw against Joe Calzaghe. In that fight against the undefeated Joe Calzaghe, Bika swept the 9th and 11th rounds on all 3 judges' scorecards. Let's look at the punch track numbers. The first 6 rounds, the average punches landed compared to the last 4 rounds, and you can see Bute separating himself with a 17-9 advantage. Oh, straight left hand by Lucian.
You set it up. The table gets set up all night with the right hand, with the jab. And as we said, then you can sit down and start having some main courses with the left. Right now, Bute is having his way.
Bika wide again. Right separates him.
There's only one window of opportunity right now for Bika, and that's to come forward, take chances, and to try to catch Bute stepping out with that low right hand, or catch Bute coming in when he gives up his height and his reach, and be able to nail him with that left hook. And you saw Bika do that a moment ago. For Bute, there's a couple of opportunities offensively, Joe. He can get off behind that jab that he's looking to do right now, or he can step out and get those counters.
Bika off balance, Bute right in his face. That landed flush. Bika tries to play it off. Bute jumps on him.
Again, Bika's not going to get it done when there's distance. And the only way he's going to get close is either bring his feet and start walking down, not reaching like that, but bringing his feet and start stepping to Bute. The only other way, Joe, is what we saw a moment ago, is if he gets a little help from Bute, giving up that advantage. If he can catch Bute as he comes in.
There is a cut now above the right eye of Bika.
That's not a good sign. If you're a backer of Bika, that's a bad sign. You're behind in the fight, you finally get close, and what do? You get tied up.
One round to go. This crowd can sense what's coming. Sakio Bika needs to turn things around against Lucian Bute. He has taken a heap of punishment, Teddy.
And it's coming right now from the power hand of the southpaw, the backhand, the hand you can turn your body into, the left hand. And it all started by getting distance set up by that right hand, the jabbing hand. And again, you can see Bika going against the ropes, going defensive. And right now, that is not what's going to get him back into this fight.
The big ticket seller in Montreal. The boxer, puncher, well-skilled, fast-handed southpaw who has won over these locals. Started his career with 15 straight knockouts. Now stands at 19-0, and he is knocking on the door of a world title opportunity. 12th and final round.
You know, if I'm in the corner of Bute, obviously, I feel I'm ahead in this fight. Another headbutt there, and again, Bika, the one reacting the worst of it. But if I'm in the corner of Bute, as much as I love his fighter's attitude, I'm telling him, keep it on the outside. The only way Bika can suddenly turn this around, pull it out of the fire, is if you're in close.
Bika has to have a sense of where things stand. You would think there would be a touch more urgency here. 2 minutes to go now. His corner has been admonishing him for the last 6 rounds. Making statements like, the way you're fighting, you won't be a world champion. Teddy Atlas's scorecard uncovers just that. 107-101. The 10th round goes 10-8 because of the point deduction for the purposeful headbutt from Bika. Half a round to go. And here comes the chant. The Montreal fans.
I went to a fight and the soccer chant flowed out.
They did it last week for Ngojo. He had that razor-thin decision win. Their top 140-pounder. But there's just a little something extra special with the love affair between these Montreal fans and Lucian Bute.
Right now, Bute, when he gets close, ties up. Smart move to tie up on the inside. But he's got to be careful because Bika likes to throw a right hand, even on the inside, behind the head a little bit. So he's got to make sure if he gets inside, he really clamps down and makes sure he ties up Bika. Right now, Joe, if I'm again with Bute, I'm going to tell him, hey, there's a line in that canvas. Don't cross it. Keep it on the outside.
Fans here rising to their feet to bring him home. A jam-packed Bell Center. It's not the Canadians on ice. It's Bute on canvas, and he has painted a very good-looking picture that will have a world title shot coming his way if the judges see it the way most have here. Lucian Bute Let the celebration begin. We will come back and make it official from Montreal. More Friday Night Fights coming your way. ESPN Friday Night Fights, presented by the new Just for Men hair color, knocks out the gray better than ever. Beautiful night in Montreal, and they're going to be talking about this one from Crescent Street to Casino de Montreal. Lucian Bute took over this fight halfway through it and never gave up. The Just for Men punch track fight recap. Look at the body punches and the percentage of Bute, 64 of 121. Teddy Atlas's scorecard. Point deduction in round number 10 didn't even come into play. 117 to 111. Lucian Bute, 19-0, 20-0. If the judges saw it the way everyone else seemed to. For that, we send it up to the ring to Pierre Bernier.
Alors, voici la décision des juges. Here's the judge's decision. Mais avant de rendre verdict, before rendering the decision, let's give these two warriors a great big round of applause. Une bonne main d'applaudissement pour nos deux combattants. Alors, voici la décision des juges. Here's the judge's decision. Le juge de Carufel, Judge de Carufel has it 116, 111, 116, 111. Le juge Hill, 118, 109, 118, 109. Et le juge William, 118, 109, 118, 109 pour le vainqueur par décision unanime et toujours invaincu, Lucian Bute.
The Canadian judge had the closest score. Lucian Bute, he was once snubbed as a young amateur and kept off the Romanian Olympic team. Now he has a date for a world title shot lined up. A unanimous decision. He's 20-0. We send it back to Brian Kenny.